Hi, I'm Greg, and welcome to My Gregarious World. Please click the like and subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when a new episode is released. We arrived in Halifax this morning, and since we didn't have an excursion planned, we had a leisurely breakfast at O'Shea's Pub. I ordered the English breakfast, which consisted of 2 eggs, bacon, sausage links, baked beans, grilled tomato, sautéed mushrooms, and breakfast potatoes. Karen had the American breakfast, which was 2 eggs over easy, grilled tomato, and breakfast potatoes but no meat. We also asked for 2 bagels and some rye toast. Leaving the terminal, we found ourselves in front of Pier 21. Known as Canada's Ellis Island, nearly 1 million immigrants entered Canada through Pier 21. It's now open to the public as an immigration museum. In front of the Pier 21 Museum, you'll find a convenient stop for the hop-on, hop-off buses that will take you to various sites around Halifax. You can't miss the pink double-decker buses. As we approach the Halifax waterfront boardwalk, we pass by several impressive statues. The Samuel Cunard statue honors the shipping magnate who founded the Cunard Line. The emigrant statue depicts a man leaving his home and family with only a small suitcase to start a new life in a faraway country. And the volunteer statue honors the women who played a crucial role volunteering during World War II. Karen and I were recently in Halifax in September 2023 while on a NCL East Coast and Maritime cruise on the Norwegian Sky. Since we were just here, this time we decided to walk around near the port. When we were here late last summer, we rented a car to see the Bay of Fundy and the popular excursion destination of Peggy's Cove. It was an easy, less than 90-minute drive to Burnt Coat Head Park to see the Bay of Fundy, the site of the world's highest recorded tides and one of North America's 7 natural wonders. Before we left, I googled the tide times for Burnt Coat Head Park and found out low tide would happen just before 12:30 p.m. If everything went as planned, we would make it there just in time to see low tide. I was a kid when I first visited the Bay of Fundy and always hoped to go back. It's an amazing and slippery experience to walk on the bottom of the ocean. We spent about an hour looking for fossils and inspecting tidal pools for sea life. It's hard to imagine that within a few hours, this enormous rock formation I'm standing in front of will become an island. Karen and I could have spent longer here, but we wanted to make it to Peggy's Cove before we had to get back to the ship. So we cut our time at the Bay of Fundy a little short. It took a little over 1.5 hours to drive to Peggy's Cove from Burnt Coat Head Park. It was a scenic drive, especially when driving along the water to get there. Once we reached our destination, we found parking difficult because the lots were full of cars, vans, and large tour buses. It was mid-afternoon when we arrived, and still the lots were full. I imagine it was even more crowded earlier in the day. We only spent about a half hour at Peggy's Cove. Although the views were stunning, there really wasn't much more to see once you saw the lighthouse and the rock formations surrounding it. The rocks were challenging to climb and would be very difficult for those with mobility issues. If it's your first time in Halifax, I'd highly recommend renting a car and visiting Burnt Coat Head Park in the Bay of Fundy. If you can get there at low tide, it's an especially unforgettable experience. Peggy's Cove is also very nice and picturesque, but it's not a place I'd like to revisit. The Halifax harbourfront is very scenic and visited by both residents and tourists. The boardwalk is about 2.5 miles long. Karen and I walked the entire span of the harbor. It's one of the longest boardwalks in the world. If you've been to Halifax, what did you like best? Please feel free to comment below. We plan to enjoy some lobster rolls and Famous Cow's ice cream, as well as sample some Canadian foods like poutine and beaver tails. All these are sold in colorful kiosks on the boardwalk. With 2 cruise ships in port and many locals enjoying the beautiful Saturday weather, it surprised us that the food stalls were not yet open for the season. Karen and I were disappointed, so after enjoying the sunshine and views of the harbor, we walked back to the ship for a quick lunch at O'Shea's. We ordered some wings to share, as well as a chicken salad sandwich and a Reuben sandwich, each taking half a sandwich of each. Then it was time to go outside to watch as we departed the port of Halifax. We'll have 4 days at sea before we arrive at our next stop in Reykjavik, Iceland. For dinner, I had a nice glass of Merlot. The house wine on the ship was very good. Off the appetizer menu, we both chose the cheddar and potato soup with creme fraiche and chives. Whoever makes the soup does a great job, most always served hot and delicious. There were only a few times when we were disappointed. Karen had the grilled New York strip steak with peppercorn sauce and mashed potatoes instead of fries. This item is on the classics menu every day and was always tender and delicious. We shared the rigatoni primavera with pesto, fine ripe vegetables, and Parmesan cheese. I ordered the almond-crusted hoagie. It was a delicate white fish served with buttered beans and mashed potatoes. For dessert, Karen decided on the bananas Foster with dark rum sauce and vanilla ice cream. And I had the brown s'more with graham cracker and roasted marshmallow cream. We always tried to attend the 9 p.m. show in the Stardust Theatre after dinner. This evening, we saw comedian and juggler Dan Bennett perform. We didn't know what to think when we saw the description, comedian and juggler, but Dan was very funny and an okay juggler. Tomorrow is the first of 4 consecutive days at sea as we cross the Atlantic to Iceland. Hope you continue to follow our journey during our first repositioning Transatlantic cruise. Cheers! Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when another episode becomes available. Future episodes will include a review of the specialty restaurants, our favorite appetizers and desserts, the martini and mojito bars, our stop in Reykjavik as well as other ports we visited, and more.